2005. A neuroscientist named Jim Fallon was sorting through brain scans. He was studying PET scans of convicted serial killers, hunting for a pattern in the brain's wiring. He found one. In scan after scan, the same region was unusually quiet, the orbital cortex, the part of the brain tied to empathy and impulse control. He had what looked like a biological fingerprint for violence. At the same time, completely unrelated, he was running a separate study on Alzheimer's risk, and he had brain scans of his own family sitting on his desk for that project. Going through the pile, he hit one scan that stopped him. It matched the killer pattern exactly. He checked the records. No mistake. The scan was his own. He had no criminal record, no history of violence. He was a tenured professor, married, with children and grandchildren. By his own account, his early life was hard. His mother had several miscarriages before he was born, and as a result, he says he was given an unusual amount of attention and love as a child. He believes that mattered. So if the broken brain theory was true on its own, he should have been one of the men in his study. He wasn't, which meant the theory by itself was wrong. A brain pattern isn't a verdict. It's a risk factor, a loaded weapon sitting on a table. Something else has to pick it up. So what does? For that answer, you have to leave neuroscience and look at psychology instead. At the minds of people who've actually pulled the trigger. The first thing researchers found wasn't hatred. The people who study mass violence, historians like Hannah Arendt, psychologists like Albert Bandura, found something quieter and far more common. Certainty. The men who ran the Nazi death camps mostly didn't describe themselves as monsters. In post-war interviews and trial records, many described themselves as dutiful, even moral. Hannah Arendt, watching one of the most infamous trials of the 20th century, called it the banality of evil. Ordinary bureaucratic men, convinced they were simply doing their job. Not, I know this is evil and I'll do it anyway, but I am certain this is right. So how does a normal mind get that certain? Bandura called the mechanism moral disengagement. It doesn't require erasing empathy, just narrowing it. It starts with a line, an us and a them. Once a group sits outside that line, the brain quietly stops extending the same empathy to them as everyone else. That's two ingredients, a weapon and a line. There's a third. Underneath almost every atrocity in modern history, you'll find the same emotional fuel, a story about an old wound, a grievance, the belief that we were wronged first. It doesn't have to be true, it only has to be believed. Put the three together, a brain that can tune out empathy, a line that says they don't count, and a grievance that says they started it. And you get people capable of doing the unthinkable and feeling not guilt, but relief. And here's the part that doesn't let you look away. None of those three ingredients is rare. Almost everyone has felt certain they were right about something. Almost everyone has quietly placed some group outside their circle of empathy. Almost everyone carries a grievance they haven't let go of. Most people will never combine all three at full intensity. That's the good news. The unsettling news is that the capacity was never reserved for monsters. It's sitting in the same brain as everyone else's, dormant, waiting on the right pressure, the right belief, the right moment. So the next time you feel completely righteously certain that you're right and they're wrong, that feeling is worth a second look.